I do tend to write pretty lofty language there. Okay, to try to not make this video too long, I'm going to just go over the outline to the 17 chapters for the epic marriage letter. And then I'm really just going to touch upon the other two. And I'm going to come back and do really more extensive videos on this. Like, I'm probably going to read the entire marriage letter out. But, you know, because I have video format, I can make it more exciting. So, here, I don't know if you can see that. How do I get it on screen? So, there it is. So, boom, boom, boom. Respect. I'm just gonna go over all this and then, that's not even all of it. Boom, boom, boom. So I think I got it all on there. Okay. So, I estimated I spent several hundred hours writing this letter, because I thought that if we could just communicate more clearly, and, you know, whatever my issues were, she would work them out with me. And that's not how this letter ended up. She did not receive it well. But I meant very well, and it is an epic letter, which is why I'm going to publish it. I will probably remove personal details, but okay. So, chapter 1 is reasons for divorce. So I was already outlining logically and rationally the reasons to end my marriage with Shayla, and I opened with the letter that way because I thought she would, you know, immediately, you know, oppose even the concept of suggesting divorce. Chapter 2, disagreements. And this is a chapter about reasons that are not reasons for divorce. Chapter 3 is how to raise the children. And honestly, that was one of our biggest disagreements and caused some of the most conflict, because I wanted to parent differently, and she had all control and power, and I couldn't do things my way. And that really explains my lack of self-confidence right now, and I'm gaming it back. So chapter 4 is confidence loss. I say I'm ashamed, fearful, distressed, low self-esteem. Now, these are all symptoms of, I guess, my particular case of PTSD. So these aren't completely her fault, but I did hope that she would validate me, and she did not. Chapter 5 is trust loss. Even at this time, I boldly said there is no trust between us. I thought that would be something she would fiercely object to, but she did not. Chapter 6 is respect loss. And marriage, respect is important in marriage, obviously. And she did not respect me. Chapter 7 is how you make me feel. And I said, short answer, awful, bad person. That's just... I must have said to her 10,000 times, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a bad guy. Jesus. Chapter 8, moving forward, the future, yours, mine, and theirs. Chapter 9, boundaries. See, now this is where I actually made a lot of really, like, the first part was a bit, boo-hoo, pity party me, but the rest of it is very constructive. And boundaries defined. I defined in writing, clear as day, what I'm comfortable with and how I want to be treated. And obviously, I mean, she never sat down and read the letter with me. She never validated any of the letter. I don't even know if she read it. She probably just read it quickly and was just so offended by it. But I'm going to do a full video on each chapter probably. Chapter 10 is I clear as day write what I need and what I want. Of course, I ended up kind of concluding that I was in an abusive marriage because, I mean, not only did I have my own set of mental illness and mental health problems, but, you know, I was just living in this constant chaos. And I said, I need an agreeable partner. I need deep, honest connection. I need unconditional grace. I need her to give me unconditional grace for my issues and sensitivity towards my struggles, which, I mean, classic narcissistic abuse. I mean, she insulted me, put me down, constantly kept me like on eggshells and worried, and it took me years to recognize it and get out of it. Man. Chapter 11 is, this is where it gets really optimistic, I would say. I wrote many reasons to stay in the marriage. Because, you know, I love her and I love God and I'm loyal to the end. And now, obviously, something majorly went wrong here. Oh, and then I have a lot of direct quotes, text messaging. I have a whole attachment section of the text messages. She was brutal. Whew. And, you know, I've kind of put it out of my mind and I can't really recall the depths of some of the insults right now, but I have been extremely diligent with record keeping. So chapter 12 is hot oven cookies, and this business was our baby. Like, I mean, I took huge risks and I invested years and years of my life. Like, I lived in some dude's basement for several months while I was going to school, making full-time income. So I could have paid for an apartment, but I was paying for, you know, a cookie shop that wasn't making money. Chapter 13 is leadership traits. And this is a nice little depth that I wove into the entire letter. There's a checklist in the Marine Corps of 14 leadership traits. JJ did tie buckle, and those are 14 different leadership traits. You know, for example, like justice and judgment and, you know, diligence. And so I wove all 14 of these leadership traits into each chapter. And oh yeah, the copy I gave her was extremely thoughtful. I mean, it was color coded. It was, you know, all these leadership traits were, like, in the midst of mentioning all this other stuff, I took the time to build myself up a little bit. Chapter 14 is the text message screenshots. Chapter 15 is the family genogram, which, so I'm a trained mental health counselor, and a genogram is when you draw out like the relationships between people and their families, and you start to notice patterns. So we'll be going over that. Chapter 16 is updates and notes and other testimonials, emails, and the video evidence. The video evidence I collected for years. Terrified to ever watch it, but I collected it, and I did finally go through it all and use it in the narcissistic abuse documentary. It's really narcissistic abuse awareness. And then chapter 17 is the conclusion. So this video is getting a bit long, so I'm going to just summarize the